Let's talk about one of Hollywood's most fascinating yet underrated stars, Susan Oliver. Born as Charlotte Gercke on February 13, 1932, in New York City, she grew up in a world woven with creativity and ambition. Her mother, Ruth Oliver, was an accomplished journalist and astrologer, and her father, George Gercke, worked in broadcasting, which undoubtedly influenced Susan's path toward the arts. But despite her seemingly advantageous start, Susan's journey to stardom was far from straightforward. Susan's early years were marked by her education and sense of independence. As a teenager, her parents' eventual separation led to some instability, but Susan channeled her energy into her dreams. Her love of storytelling and a keen interest in acting became apparent, and soon she was pursuing those aspirations relentlessly. In 1949, Susan attended Swarthmore College, but her passion for the spotlight eventually took her to the neighborhood Playhouse School of the Theater in New York City, where she honed her craft. Now, let's get into the 1950s, a defining chapter in Susan Oliver's career. She began appearing on television, which at the time was a booming industry. Early in her career, Susan was noted for her striking beauty and dramatic intensity. By the mid-1950s, she was earning roles in popular television series, elevating her prominence. However, she wasn't just successful in front of the camera. Susan also directed her attention toward theater, gaining greater control over her artistic output, a rare move for actresses in her era. Onward to the 1960s, when Susan Oliver truly hit her stride. Her role in the infamous pilot episode of Star Trek, titled The Cage, immortalized her in pop culture. She played Veena, a mysterious and complex woman who was key to the show's plot. This role made her an enduring figure in science fiction fandom, and her image from that episode, painted green as an Orion slave girl, became iconic worldwide. But it's important to note that Susan wasn't content to be pigeonholed. She ventured into a variety of genres, appearing in series like The Fugitive, Bonanza, The Twilight Zone, Gunsmoke, and Wagon Train. Despite her undeniable success, her Hollywood career was not without its challenges. At a time when the entertainment industry was still grappling with rigid beauty standards and the sidelining of women past their early 40s, Susan worked harder to carve out her space. Off-screen, she became one of the first women to attend film school at the American Film Institute, acting as a pioneer for women filmmakers. In a male-dominated industry, her resilience stood out. What makes Susan Oliver's life even more remarkable was that she wasn't defined by acting alone. In fact, in the mid-1960s, she became enamored with aviation, a pursuit few might associate with a glamorous Hollywood actress. She became an accomplished pilot and even competed in the prestigious Powder Puff Derby, an all-woman transcontinental air race. Her zest for aviation was a testament to her adventurous spirit and determination. When it comes to her personal life, Susan was fiercely independent. Though reports suggest she had relationships over the years, including rumored ties with actor George Hamilton, she never married, nor did she have any children. This choice, often considered unconventional at the time, spoke volumes about her priorities, which were firmly rooted in her career and personal ambitions. Susan charted her own path, refusing to conform to societal expectations placed on women in the 1950s and 60s. Her decisions were emblematic of a woman unwilling to compromise her dreams for traditional roles. Unfortunately, her later years were marred by health struggles. Battling cancer multiple times, Susan faced immense challenges with incredible grace. Nevertheless, she found ways to continue contributing to the arts and aviation, demonstrating an inspiring drive despite adversity. On May 10, 1990, Susan Oliver passed away at the age of 58 due to colorectal cancer. Her death marked the end of a life lived with fearlessness and creativity, but her legacy endures. From her vibrant on-screen performances to her game-changing contributions to aviation and filmmaking, Susan is an emblem of versatility and determination. Now let's touch on her filmography, a point of pride for any cinephile or television enthusiast. Susan starred in numerous guest roles and films throughout the golden age of television and cinema. Some of her notable movie credits include The Jean Krupa Story, in which she portrayed Krupa's wife, The Disorderly Orderly opposite Jerry Lewis, and Your Cheating Heart, a biopic of Hank Williams. On the small screen, her episodes in Perry Mason, The Andy Griffith Show, Gunsmoke, Route 66, and The Man from Yunkla showcased her ability to adapt to various genres and roles, often playing strong, independent, and intellectual characters. Let's not overlook Susan Oliver's contributions behind the camera either. As a filmmaker, she was one of the few women of her time to direct episodes of television shows. Her work behind the scenes, though less publicized, was significant in opening doors for women directors in an era when such feats were practically unheard of. And now about her personal wealth. While exact estimates of her net worth aren't widely reported, as a prolific actress of her time, Susan Oliver was financially comfortable. Her earnings from television, movies, and royalties ensured she didn't encounter financial hardships during her lifetime. However, it appears that Susan valued experiences, like flying and directing, over material wealth. Those who knew Susan often spoke about her warmth and intelligence. Despite her busy life in Hollywood and aviation, she maintained close relationships with friends and family. She was a private person, preferring not to broadcast her personal matters, which only adds to the air of intrigue about her life. And while there are no records of her keeping pets, it wouldn't be far-fetched to imagine that someone with such a strong independent streak would have loved a trusty four-legged companion. In summary, Susan Oliver was a multi-dimensional talent who left an indelible mark on the worlds of acting, aviation, and filmmaking. From her early days in New York City to her iconic Star Trek role and her daring adventures as a pilot, Susan's life was a testament to breaking barriers and living authentically. Few actresses of her era managed to achieve what she did both on and off screen. Her legacy serves as a reminder of the power of individuality, determination, and the pursuit of passion. So, next time you see her luminous face on screen or read about the early days of women in aviation, take a moment to remember the trailblazer that was Susan Oliver. A Hollywood star, a pioneer, and a woman whose legacy defies time. This in-depth tribute covers every aspect of Susan Oliver's extraordinary life, perfect for a detailed and engaging video.